Like what?
It's April 1st, and this is Yesterday in 5 Minutes, or less. We're sponsored by Eunomia CBD and Linode.com. Check the description below for details on exclusive deals that you can't get anywhere else but here. Florida Representative Matt Gaetz says he's under federal investigation for sexual misconduct with a minor, according to an explosive report from the New York Times. Are you listening, Q people? Oddly enough, this story broke on the same day that Gaetz floated the idea of leaving Congress early for a job at Newsmax. Apparently, he's being investigated for having sexual relations with a 17-year-old girl 2 years ago. To avoid confusion, though, the sex trafficking part of all of this is basically just saying that he paid for her to travel with him with the expectations of having a sexual relationship with her, which, if she's a minor, is very illegal. Gaetz says that this is an effort by a former DOJ employee to extort $25 million from him. He appeared on Tucker Carlson to try to defend himself and pretty much said that this was all a setup.
I only know what I've read in the New York Times. I can say that actually you and I went to dinner about 2 years ago. Your wife was there, and I brought a friend of mine. You'll remember her. And she was actually threatened by the FBI, told that if she wouldn't cop to the fact that somehow I was involved in some pay-for-play scheme, that she could face trouble. And so I do believe that there are people at the Department of Justice who are trying to smear me, providing for flights and hotel rooms for people that you're dating who are of legal age is not a crime. And I'm just troubled that the lack of any sort of legitimate investigation into me would then convert into this extortion attempt.
I don't remember the woman you're speaking of or the context at all, honestly.
He also made Tucker Carlson pretty uncomfortable.
You just saw our Matt Gaetz interview. That was one of the weirdest interviews I've ever conducted. That story just appeared in the news a couple of hours ago. And on the certainty that there's always more than you read in the newspaper, we immediately called Matt Gaetz and asked him to come on and tell us more, which, as you saw, he did. I don't think that clarified much.
He says that he and his father have both been helping the FBI try to catch this guy who's been trying to extort all this money from them, but he also said that the explosive New York Times article kind of ruined that effort. Matt Gaetz' buddy, former Seminole County tax collector Joel Greenberg, was arrested in June and now faces 14 federal charges, including allegations that he illegally used a state database to create fake IDs and sex trafficked a minor. Before we get much further into this, it's really important for me to say that this investigation was started during the Trump administration under Attorney General Barr. So Trump knew about this before he left office. This isn't a plot by the Dems or Joe Biden to ruin Matt Gaetz. This seems pretty real. We'll undoubtedly touch on this story again as it unfolds, which I'm sure it will pretty rapidly. Next. Okay, so I mentioned yesterday that I would talk a little bit about Chinese and Russian disinformation campaigns. I recently watched a really great film on HBO called The Perfect Weapon, directed by John Maggio. I swear they don't pay us. It's all about cyber warfare and how different countries have used cyber attacks over the years. The US started with the Stuxnet virus, which was used to interfere in the Iranian nuclear program. Now, years later, China and Russia have perfected cyber attacks in the form of troll campaigns and other hacks like SolarWinds. The SolarWinds hack was so expansive that its full reach is still ultimately unknown. AP reported just a couple days ago that they got emails from DHS officials. Anyway, back to the movie. It was really good. It's a pretty small part of the movie, but it's really important that you look into foreign bot and troll campaigns that are running disinformation in this country. These foreign powers are trying to divide us past just politics. These bots and trolls, they set up rallies and protests for a number of different things. But the craziest part is that they'll set up counter protests and counter rallies in the same place on the same day. They're currently trying to rush states into reopening schools. They're trying to spread disinformation about COVID vaccines. They're even trying to recall locally elected officials. It's really, really crazy stuff, and they're doing so much more than that. You want to know something that I've been trying desperately to get better at? What is it? I've been trying not to interact so much in the comments section on social media. It's literally a playground for trolls and bots. Their goal is to divide us. And if you take a look around, it's working. The divide is so much bigger than just disagreeing with your friends and family about who the president is. This is a generational divide. It's a long game. It changes the way people vote. It changes the way our government is run. It changes the way that you see the world around you. Go watch the movie and take a look at it because it's super interesting and it's also super dangerous. That's it for yesterday in 5 minutes. My name is Taylor Cooper. If you liked this episode, it'd be a big deal to me if you went down here and liked it. It'd be even cooler if you shared it with your friends. Go to mbnnetwork.com to check out all the cool stuff that we're doing here at the network. Or just go download the all-new MBN Network app. It's new, it's free, it's awesome. You can listen to the podcast on there. You can watch these videos on there. It's really awesome. You can also get merch on there, like this awesome Might Be Brew shirt that I was wearing the other day, or this awesome MBN Network hoodie that I'm wearing right now. Here's how you subscribe. Here's another episode of this show, and here's a podcast. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.